right, team, good morning. Week 2, day 3. It's freezing in here. It's 6 a.m. It's the only time I can get a gym. So right out the get-go, I want to get moving fast. These days can be hard to get up and going. We're going to go right into it. So what we're going to do is we are going to use our whole body and get moving right away. I want you to go into a push-up position and a couple of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk our feet forward, walk our hands out. We're going to do that a couple times. So here, push up, walk our feet forward, walk our hands out. What I like about this is coming out of a couple of these ground movements will feel pretty good. So we'll go 5. Now we're going to walk our hands back, walk our feet back. If you don't want to do the push-up, that's fine. And one more, kind of got awkward there. Walk back, good. So that's step 1. Step 2, we're going to do this 2 times through. 1 time stay low, 1 time stay high. So kind of into a mountain climber. Open up, stay, crawl, open up, open up, crawl, open up, go backwards, crawl, open up, backwards. See, we're getting our shoulders, our core, we're getting some movement into the body. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing, but I want you to stay low. A little Mission Impossible. So stay low. And then back. Good, and now what we're gonna do, go into a lateral lunge, stay low, pivot. So everything is about being in a good position. If you can't get this low or you're too rounded, get a little bit higher, that's okay. Good, all right, let's get off the wall. A couple of drills and we're gonna get moving. Always go for the leg swings, hands off the wall. Try to stay nice and quiet through here. Side to side for 10. Good, switch. And 10, and 4, back for 10 again. Nice and quiet right here. And switch. Nice and quiet, show the pretty face. Good. Use your hands to drive into the wall. If you have a post or something, it's easier. But just allow that heel to come up if you want to as well. Good. Again, pushing into it. Good. Drill 3 of 5. So I lied, I said 4. We're going to go 5 bums up against the wall. Legs are straight. Just 1 set. Trying to get everything moving. Good. So last 3 drills, I want you to use the wall as you need, as much as you need. As little as possible, pardon me. Okay, you're gonna come here, come up, I want you to keep a good spine. Focus on 5 or 6 squats every time, getting a little bit lower. Okay. Good. Eventually, we'll do a toe touch or knee touch if you can. But you understand the wall is to help you keep balance, good torso. And if I was to do it from here, it's here. Okay. Switching sides, chest up. Good. I'm gonna do 5 hip spin, driving up, get into an REL, bend the knee a little bit, get into that glute, use your hand as much as you need, as little as possible. You're not spinning from here, think of spinning from here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to 10. Get that glute going. 8. And 10. Ooh. 10 aside. So, again, into a hip spin, getting into that glute. You're gonna use your hand as little as possible, as much as you need. And 10. Alrighty, let's get to it. All right, so similar to what we did last day on court, we're trying to use our dynamic warm-up with intent, with purpose. A lot of the patterns are gonna fall into the patterns of jumping. We're gonna do less volume than we did last week going into the jumps, prioritize the jumps a little bit more. And then on the back end, we're gonna do some acceleration and some speed work, okay? Take our time, let's flow right into this. Pardon me, I need to get a banana because, again, it's 6:15 a.m. Just went the whole day without eating. I need to make sure you have the energy to train. So we're gonna go 4 back, really open up the stride on the way back. We're gonna go 2 times through. Focus on good movement. Open the legs up. Let's do another time through. And now we're going to do some alligator runs. So think of going around cones, just trying to get some angles. Bit slippery again. Too bad, it's okay. And we're going to do the same thing going backwards. Good. Okay, so normally we go straight to the next pattern, but I can feel I'm still a little bit tight. So quick little audible, just to get the body moving. So on the spot, we're gonna do a couple patterns, get warmed up. Straight leg, 5 a leg. One more. And then across the body, just 3 a leg. It's very important to check in with yourself. Sometimes you do a warm-up, you're like, I'm ready to go. Sometimes you get halfway through, you realize I need a lot more. Okay, those 2, sit, Stay low again, trying to open up the hips or the groin, get into the frontal plane a little bit. Good, and now I just want to open up because my hips are still a little bit tight. That's okay. Exaggerating that pattern. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. All right. So now what we're going to do, take a breath, take your time, flow into this. All right. So now what we're going to do is our A-skip series, which you've done before, but first just warm up. Like if you're in the beach, you got sand, you're trying to kick the sand up with your toes or the top of your foot. You're not being lazy with your feet, but you're really driving up. Good. Now just walking forward so you still get dynamic. You can do it on the spot if you want. We're going to go switch, switch. Take a couple steps, do switch, switch again. So up, driving into that foot, nice and upright. You get sand on your foot, you're going to do a quick switch. Good. Now, this takes time, but you're getting balance, you're getting everything, driving into the ground. Don't do this, don't waste your time. Even if you do 3 reps, if they're done well, they help. If you do 10 reps and they're done shitty, you're wasting your time, okay? Everything has intent. So up. Good, we'll do another one. Good, walk back. Everything needs to be quality here. So I might be ripping through this. Pause it if you need to. These patterns are important to do well, okay? We're gonna go switch, switch. So up, finishing in the same position. Good. Here. To a leg. Feel like you're putting pressure into the ground. Go walk back. We'll do triple. Okay? In 30 seconds, pop, pop, pop. So if you start in your left leg, you're going to finish in your right leg. So here, find that balance. Start in your left leg. Ah, I did double. There's a triple. Good. Start on the right leg. Good. And on to the left leg. Onto the left leg. That's that one up. Let's get that one again. Don't end on a bad rep. Here. Beautiful. Let's get on to our lateral. Good. So here, we're going to do 3 lateral, 3 crossover patterns. So just to reiterate some of our things that we're always trying to think about, we're moving from the center of the body, from the belly button, not reaching. We're pushing, we're not reaching. We're moving this, not our foot. Just a mindset thing. Push, don't reach. So when we're doing lateral, it's not, but it's getting the center of mass, the belly button, low, and we're trying to get this belly button over by pushing and landing stacked. So not landing here, but landing that belly button as close to that center of mass as possible, within reason, okay? So what we're gonna do here, start, push, go out this way, okay? We'll do 3. Good, get low, set back up. Good. Same pattern, let's get a little bit dynamic. So we're going laterally, go 3 to 5. Can't remember what the rep range is, but you know what we're trying to do here. Shoot out, stick the last one, okay? Getting low. Stick, shitty stick, but you know what we're trying to do. Pardon me, bad stick, bleep that out. Low. Another bad stick. Don't be lazy like that and get caught skipping that stick, okay? It's just as important. Being able to break is just as important, or more important in a lot of ways, to being able to press the gas, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer a lateral movement to a linear. So it's not just this, but it's here, punch vertical. So it's, okay? You wanna get here and get straight up. If you're going here, you're sliding, you're not transferring that energy. So get low. It doesn't need to be super fast, super high right now. And lateral hop to punch straight up. Okay, so load, pop, stick it. Okay, 3 aside. See how there's a good example. You see how I slide? I didn't punch into the ground. I didn't transfer that energy. Let's start again. Low. Punch. Push. Punch. Good. Push. Punch. Punch. Beautiful. Not beautiful like that's perfect. Beautiful. That's done. Let's get through those exact same patterns with a crossover now. Okay? Need to get a little bit more off the floor here. This leg's pushing, push. Okay? If you want to just fall from here, lift it up, but you're pushing into that ground. Okay? If you want to get some distance off the step, it's push, push. Off that you get 2 pushes, not a reach and a push, but let's work on what you have. End of the day, the crossover, as you cross over, drive into the ground, stick, okay? Make sure you stick that, don't slide. One more, because that was a bad landing. Good, coming back. Let me ask you a question. Which side there looked more comfortable? Because I can tell you sticking on the left side, no problem. Right side, not as confident. Breaking on that left side is where I'm way more comfortable. And it's what I have to consider. Do I want to improve the other side? Of course. But it's also good to be mindful. I'm more comfortable with, like, how does that tie into everything that I do, regardless of the sport? And do I want to work up that other leg? Of course you want that balance, but be mindful when you're going through this, which side feels easier, okay? We're gonna go quick, stick the last one. Load. Same thing, coming back. Good. Ish, not goodish effort. Good pattern. The effort's there. I'm not gonna minimize myself like that. I just know the quality is not where I want it to be, but I know it'll get there. So who cares? It's about intent and purpose and trying to get better every day. So push, push, up. And just do 2 a leg. So crossover, transferring from lateral to vertical. Okay, load. See how I'm sliding? Straight up. Better. Cross. And there's our 2 series. Let's go. All right, guys. So the next 4 patterns, guys and gals, whoever, anybody who's trying to follow this or get better. Next 4 patterns are things I'm not super comfortable with. Not that I'm not comfortable doing them, but it's new to me. I'm learning. So, like I said last day, I got these 4 drills from the jump guy on YouTube. He's got great stuff. He can hit his head on the rim. So give him credit. And again, comes back to our theme of if you want to get better at something, practice it. So we're going to get better. I'm going to get better just by doing it and having intent. But these 4 drills are helping with the skill of jumping. And I want to pattern it before I actually get into trying to jump, because jumping is not just being powerful enough, strong enough, it's about the skill, the motor patterns of being able to do it. So the first one is, I believe he calls it a upper body rhythm with little bounds. Mini bounds without upper body rhythm. There you go, pardon me. So just getting the feet going, and then every time you touch, the hands are sweeping through, okay? We'll do 2 quick sets. Again, every time you tap, you get a hand rhythm. You're just trying to get to the rhythm of using your upper body and your lower body together. Your upper body can commit almost 30% of your power in a lot of patterns. So don't sleep on it. Make sure you're focusing on it. Good. Next one that he talks about is penultimate jab, where penultimate step, my understanding, is the second to last step going into a jump. It is going to be one of our braking forces. So it's that step. If you're going into a jump, it's boom, boom. But this one, they talk about being able to be relatively stiff, a little bit rotated in the arms back on contact. So we're just going to work being comfortable pushing into that position. So not jumping into it, but driving into it and sticking. So it's go try that. Again, this could look goofy when I'm doing it. I don't care. If you don't practice something, you're not going to get better. So push. When I was first looking at this, I couldn't quite understand the stiff with rotation, but it makes sense as he explains it, because you're stiff, you're externally rotated because you're going to be bringing this hip across to square up. So you're basically planting it and setting it up for your next pattern to push off of, okay? So there's our penultimate jab, just 3, 4 each. Now the next step, if you think about from here, this leg comes across and you punch, we're just trying to get comfortable from the penultimate jab to coming across and punching. It doesn't need to be high. You're set up, single leg, push off that leg, single leg step and push, okay? So here, as if we just finished it, pattern, push off that leg, get your upper body with it. Good. And the last one we're going to do is focus on the actual push, and he calls it an impulse block. And again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, my friend. But you're going to get here, you're going to drive through and just punch. The punch is what we're really focusing on. Okay, so set up, just 3 leg. Kind of narrow stance already there. Good, focus on pushing into the ground, set. Getting your hands into rhythm. Beautiful. Now, not an audible, but I want to throw in one more pattern before we move on, just because it's important, and just because. So we're going to do everything we just did, about honestly 50%, and just focus on the quality of what you're trying to achieve. We're going to do 3 a leg, just get set up. Okay, this isn't meant to fatigue you. We're just trying to get into it, okay? I want you, this is kind of like a version of the neuro rehearsal sets, where I want you to focus on closing your eyes, imagining how the pattern's supposed to look, open them up, go through the pattern, go 30%, 50%, 70% speed. It doesn't matter. Change it up. Just have an intent and visualize yourself doing this the right way and then doing the pattern. Okay? So neural rehearsal type work. I know it's step, punch, but feel rhythm. Okay? So it's still not maximal. I'm going to go about 70% here. So need a little stiffer. And I'm going to do one more pattern. Going out, I'm going to go 20% speed. Just to feel. You see I got too low there, I wasn't stiff enough. So there, I did there, back there, 3 sets. If you're gonna work this through, do it, get into rhythm. Do 3 speeds, not max, okay? We're patterning to get into our jumping. If you don't go max, you're just preparing yourself for it, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna progress from 1 step to 2 step to max effort, all about quality. I'm gonna shoot through some of these, but we'll do 1 each leg for 1 step, 1 each leg for 2 step. If you're a 2-foot jumper, do 2 feet only. If you're a 1-foot jumper, do 1 foot only. I'm not really a jumper per se, so I'm going to work both patterns, and then progress to some max efforts, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I always like to work back from what we're trying to achieve. So if I'm a 1-foot jumper, this is where I want to take off from. I'm going to go here, step back, okay? And all I'm going to do is max effort, load up, and go straight up, okay? So push, push, straight up, and land. Now I'm much better off my left foot than my right foot, but let's not forget you got to jump off both feet in most sports. That's about where I want to take off from. Here, back up, load. Awful. That's okay. Take your time. Now we're going to go 2-foot jump. So 2-foot jump, I have a bit of an issue sliding, so losing energy from coming in with speed and braking. But I know probably want to jump from about here. Okay, so block. Yeah. Here. Load. Push, push. The same thing on this side. Punch. Step back. Good. Ish. Now we're going to go into 2 steps back. Again, start with single leg. Bit slippery, that's okay. I don't want to keep making excuses because it's slippery. Takeoff is about here. Back, back, back. Going off my left leg. Get to the rim. Nowhere near, but we're getting better. Okay, right leg. Right leg. Take a breath. Max effort. I'm going to start with double leg. That's a pattern we've been working. You got to get there. Come on. It was poor that last one, but that's okay. Lock in. I know I'm sliding. I need to come in with some speed. You got to pattern that. Go single leg. Single leg. In there. 3 inch. I'm still not coming in with speed. It's okay though. Right leg. Never gonna be good, but that's okay. All right, so tough angle, but finished up jumping. Haven't done any sprinting yet, but it's a part of this program. So for your reference point, we're gonna go baseline to the far elbow or 3/4 length sprint. If your core's not the full size, it is what it is, but I want to keep this volume low. We're going to do 3 efforts. If you need to warm into it, but at least 1, if not 2 of these efforts need to be maximal, okay? I'm going to go about 80% my first one, and then I'm going to open up the last 2. These need to be fresh, so load up. Good. Don't rush these, okay? Take your time, walk back. This is something done with a lot of NBA teams. Similar to the combine. It's reproducible. It's a good way, if you have the right technology, to look at their ability to accelerate as well as to hit some speed. So say it's about 20 meters-ish, give or take, depending on where you are. You can look at the first 10. That's a little bit, first 5, first 10 more around an acceleration, and the last 10, flying 10, to look at speed. But still need to sprint, and we're going to introduce this more and more. Okay, good break. You have to be 100% rested for this. Get set. So one thing I'm going to flag on myself there is I did really well for me, but around here I started decelerating. I was testing, I just lost time, and I'm only doing 80% of the drill, which isn't okay. So, got to keep myself accountable, especially when I'm on camera with you people, and you got to keep yourself accountable. Finish the freaking drill, okay? I want you to take a longer break, at least a minute, if not 2 minutes. But I lose this gym in 5 minutes, so I gotta move. Load up. That's 3. I'm gonna build that up. Okay? This isn't a part of the program, but rarely do I have this much space. I wanna try to get some higher speeds, which take time. So this isn't necessarily a part of the program, but if you have space, open the legs up, you can add this. So I'm gonna roll into this for about 10 paces, and I'm really gonna open up. I wanna open up for a good a good 3 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 of these. Ease. Good. It's probably, if you want to call it something, call it like a rolling 20. So your first 10, you're kind of focusing on just slowly ramping up, then you accelerate up. So really, you're taking out the heavier burden of accelerating. You're focusing on hitting a top velocity, and at least one of these at some point. And it's not going to be early, right? And rarely, if you're on a basketball court, do you hit top velocities, because rarely do you run end to end with this ability, but you still got to train it. And this isn't just for basketball. Load up, ease. All right, so our last 2 movement drills are going to be accelerating hard into a decel, a plant, and then a change of direction. I'm lucky here, pardon me, I'm lucky here because I can run through, but often you have to have a wall. You have to be conscious of being able to break as well, but not decelling and losing the purpose of the drill. You can do this in the middle of the court too, put some cones down. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna accelerate as hard as you can. At the last second, I want you to break right at the line. Don't slow down early, because that defeats the purpose. We're just gonna do 2 a leg, where your braking leg is your right and braking leg is your left, okay? Decelerating is so important in all sports, okay? So patterning it is important. Feel how, ask yourself while you're doing these drills, how do you feel left versus right? It's again, just, it's not, oh, this leg's so bad. It's understanding where you're at, where you can improve on, what you can improve on, but recognizing who you are and your strengths and your weaknesses and where you want to go with your goals so you can apply it. Load up. That's it. I was right. I'm going to go left. Again, this seems really basic, but I would rather you take longer breaks and not slow down than do it just to get it done. And you know the last 2 reps are garbage. Okay? Left foot, just right here. 2 more of those. And I got to get out of the gym real soon here. So I'm going to rip through this, but take your time with this, okay? Right foot. Get low. Don't jab out. Good. Now the last drill before we do our isometrics is exact same thing. Coming in. Get to the line, transition out. I'm going to challenge you to not get here, slow down, because you're scared of that transition. You have to challenge yourself to go in with speed, come out with speed, even if you fall, even if you leak energy. Being able to come in with speed, boom, load, and pop out is so important. Okay, this is for you. It's not for anybody else. So if you're gonna do it, do your best to do it right, do it with good intent, okay? Even if my demo's not perfect, you know what we're trying to do, okay? 2 a leg. Load up. As we're learning here, I want to show something. You guys, if you watch my video slow motion, I planted, I lost my torso. That is not the way to do this. You want to get here, get your belly button, your center of mass low, and drive out. So you're pushing out. It's safer, it's more effective. Always focus on getting that belly button center mass low towards that plant leg so you can drive out. So that was a better effort. It was a better effort, but if you see, I was kind of in quicksand on the transition. But that's okay because the pattern is going to get better. Don't take shortcuts now. They're going to impact you in the long run. Do it right now. Build on good habits. This shit gets better. Pardon me, this stuff gets better. We'll do one more. All right, so this isn't part of week 2, day 3, but I want to add a little bit. So this can be a bonus if they want to do it. If you want to do it, pardon me, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to basically just low level, want to turn my feet over, get the brain involved, over speed as fast as I can, almost like I'm going to fall over. I look like a goof. Pick a line. I'm going to go 4 back, then side to side, then cross over, then a multi-directional, okay? So set up, about 5 seconds. 1. Good, rest. It's 4 back, go side to side. Load up. Rest, I can feel my legs, I need a second. Go diagonal with the chest staying square. So even though we're going here, chest is staying square. See, it's slowing down because I'm going too quickly. I need a longer break. I'm aware of it. Take a big break. Go the opposite side. So that was first X. Let's go the opposite X. Go. The crossover, upper body dissociation. So you got your line here, turning over, okay? That was kind of goofy. That's okay. You know what we're trying to do there. Last one here. Turning the hips over, keeping the chest square, okay? On the same spot. So if you had a extra on, switch. Held my breath on my last one. Don't let me get away with that. So I'm only gonna be able to get 1. So I got this weight here. I was like, why not? But you've done this before. We're gonna do 2 sets. Go as long as you can. It's too hard, you might get 15, but we're trying to go not to failure, but close, okay? So first one, you're gonna drive in, good. Don't be up here. We're trying to get into a lower position. You're just gonna, like you have a couple credit cards under that heel, and you're gonna sit, okay? So I want you to sit. The lower you go, the shorter the time is gonna be. If you bring your foot in forward, back, you're gonna get more. So you decide, okay? There's no perfect way to do this, but I want you to have an intent that is real.
Should get lower. Oh. Now, this is dangerous, but I'm gonna try it. If you want to get more of the floating heel, find something. This isn't the best idea, but you see here, now my heel is floating. Another way to do it, where you get low. It's actually pretty solid as long as it's under you so it doesn't slide out. It's much harder. Okay, now remember, your intent is everything. If you're just kind of sitting there, you're not going to get much out of this. So I'm going to do my calf here. So start here, get it right about there. A little bit of hip flexion or here. I really want to try to contract the calf, the quad. Get as tall as you can be, not from up here. Nice and connected. So this one, you're going to be easier than the single leg one. So if you need a break, take a break. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to transition to bent knee, let that knee come forward and hold. Okay, and now I'm getting a little bit more knee, of course, different type of calf, not different type, but different part of the calf. I'm going to hold. So you don't need to go one from the other. You can do both sides straight, both sides bent. I got to get out of here, so I'm knocking it all off together. Good. Switch sides. Up. Good. Okay, I got to rip through here. So